I'm Dr. Deb Butler, and you are listening to Thinner Peace and Menopause and Beyond. And this is episode number 434. Well, hello, everybody. All my dear friends all over the world. I cannot believe this is episode number 434. I still can't believe it. So good to see all of you. For those of you who are seeing me, I can't see you, but you can see me. And I have so much I want to share with you, but I also want to tell you again, I'm doing another free masterclass on August 8th at 1 o'clock Central. And I did one a couple weeks ago, and it was all about 3 simple steps to lose weight in menopause. And they were how to eat when you're hungry and stop when you're full. Why do you eat when you're not hungry? And how do you talk to yourself when you're doing something you don't want to be doing? Really, I call that self-compassion. So in this last masterclass, I spent most of my time talking about why do you eat when you're not hungry? And do you know when you're hungry? And do you know when you're full? In this class, I want to spend more time talking about self-compassion and how to speak to yourself in a way that will help you get what you want. And calling yourself names and screaming at yourself is not the way. I'm afraid it's not the way. So that's what I want to help you with August 8th at 1 o'clock Central. I want you to be there. And I had such a great turnout for this last masterclass. If you were there and you want to learn more, come on back. I'm going to be doing a lot of these little mini webinars, is what I call them, because I want to see more of you. I want to talk to more of you. I want to coach more of you. And I want to hear what's going on for a lot of you. The only way I can do it is to look at you, talk to you. So that's what we're going to do. So how do you talk to yourself? This is what I find is that you might be nice to yourself if you get what you want. But that's easy. But when you don't get what you want, or you see yourself doing something you wish you didn't do, then how do you talk to yourself? Now, let me give you an example of the right way to talk to yourself. Let's say that you're with friends, you're out to eat. This is very, very common for many of you. You're out to eat, you're with your friends, alcohol is involved, beautiful, expensive food is involved. How do you treat your body? Now, let's say you go in there with the intention of eating mostly fuel food in between the twos, and you plan to have one joy eat or one joy drink, an alcoholic drink. And you leave that restaurant and you had 3 drinks and you went way beyond your +2, and it's in your food journal. How do you talk to yourself? Now, here's what I would not want to see you do, which is what I think you do, and certainly I have done it, but I'm working and training on myself not to do it anymore. And I want you to be the same. It's like if this were your child or if this were your best friend and they just came and told you, I had this great plan and it didn't turn out and I'm so upset. What would you say to them? Would you call them names? Would you call them stupid? Would you tell them you're never going to get this? Would you call them a failure and you failed and failed and failed and you're just going to keep failing? I don't think that's what you would say. They need encouragement, and so do you. So the way that you talk to yourself after something like this is you become more curious with yourself. You create a feeling that will bring some answers to you, not make you turn around and go into the corner and feel shame and embarrassed. Instead, it's like, sweetheart, what happened? That's really what you want to know. When I'm coaching people, that's exactly the question I ask when I see that they went beyond a +2. Or they decided to have 3 drinks when they only planned on 1 drink. Well, what happened? Why did you do that? Because what you want to do is find out what was going on in your mind. And if you know what was going on in your mind and you know what you were thinking, then it's possible that you could change it. If you don't know what was going on, what can you change? You just walk around feeling ashamed and bad about yourself. Now, if you've been used to eating your emotions and you feel ashamed, what do you think you're going to do? Eat more or eat less? It doesn't help. Whereas, sweetheart, what happened? Maybe it was like, well, I was going to have one drink, but then so and so, she said, oh, you should have another drink. And I felt embarrassed to say, I'm not going to do that. I didn't want to let her down. I didn't want her to think that about me. And so I said yes. And what happened is I let myself down. And the woman that said, why don't you have another drink? I don't think she cared one way or the other if I had one or not. But we have to start looking at that. So if I was coaching you, we would look at that to see, well, what would be better, pleasing yourself or pleasing her? Maybe you've spent your whole life pleasing other people. Maybe that's what's been going on. And then being upset with yourself when you could have pleased yourself. Now, there might have been a small part of you that wanted that extra drink. How do you calm yourself down enough to say, remember, we said we're not going to do it. You can have it another time. It's not like you can never have it again. It's just not today. Maybe next time you'll plan a little bit more. Because we want to stick with our own commitments. We want to be able to honor the things that we do and what we say. And if we don't, we want to know why. And here, it's a perfect example of trying to please somebody else over ourselves. That's good information. That would be really good information to know. And if I were coaching you, we would start talking about where else do you do that in your life? Because what shows up in food when you eat when you're not hungry is showing up in other places in your life too. So there's a lot that you can learn by finding out why you eat when you're not hungry, or why you drink or have a joy eat or drink when you didn't plan it and you didn't mindfully eat or drink it. You get information because you become curious. As a coach, I become curious and I ask you questions. And if I'm not attacking you and calling you names, there's a good chance you may talk to me back. And then you may become more inquisitive. And then you may learn something about yourself that you never knew before. Instead of thinking there's something wrong with you, you'll never be able to do this. This is what always happens. If you don't talk to yourself like that, and you become more curious as you talk to yourself, and you tell yourself it's okay. I know it's not what you wanted. You know how many more opportunities you're going to have? A lot. Nothing has gone wrong. It's okay, sweetheart. Talk to yourself as if you loved yourself, but also don't indulge in yourself, right? Giving yourself something when you don't want it. Like a lot of times when we're out or there's something there and we want it, even though we said we wouldn't, sometimes we'll indulge in ourselves. We'll give ourselves permission. Well, I told myself I could do it. But that's indulging. That's not being loving and kind to yourself. That's not self-compassion. That is indulging. The difference between indulging and self-compassion is in self-compassion, you help yourself get what you want. Indulging, you're using food as a treat and reinforcing it. What good is that going to do? I really want you to think about how you talk to yourself. And we're going to spend a whole hour in this next masterclass on July 8th at 1 o'clock Central talking just about this. A whole hour talking about how to talk to yourself, how to use food in a way that will help you, how to use your thoughts in a way that will help you get what you want, and maybe become more curious about why you do what you do and why you're not getting what you want. And also, the biggest thing, we're going to be doing scale work. How to make the scale a friend, not make a scale the barometer for the feelings of your day. How many of you do that? I did. I still think sometimes it's hard. I can remember getting on the scale when I would go to Weight Watchers and having to take my watch off, wear the lightest clothes possible, make sure I went to the bathroom, make sure I go in the morning for an extra pound or two. That's how crazy I was about the scale. I think you probably are too. At least I know a lot of my clients are. But being able to break the habit with the scale and being able to accept it as a tool and use it for self-compassion is such a more beautiful way to use it. And it will help you get what you want. So if this is something that you want, join me August 8th, 8 at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Central. And let's see if we can figure out some more things on how to be kinder to ourselves, how to be more connected to ourselves, and how to make this time of our lives the best part of your life. And as always, I would never end without saying to you, because I'm already talking about it, no matter where you go and no matter what you do, please, please, please be very, very kind to yourself. And I will see you next week. Bye-bye.